Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about Mob Beauty's collaboration with Shelby Wilson. This is their first shimmer cream clay shadow. So they have other shades, they have like matte shades, but this is the first shimmer shades. Now, Shelby Wilson was the first YouTuber I ever followed when I even found out about YouTube in my high school days, which was quite some time ago. And so to say that I am a huge fan of hers is an understatement. But she was really the one who inspired me to, back in her Bare Mineral days, to start my own channel, and I've just followed her ever since. So already you're gonna know that this is gonna be a biased opinion because I'm a huge fan. So you can go ahead and click off now if you want, but I do want to talk about these. I am going to give you the facts about them, and then you guys can decide if this is going to be a good purchase for you. There were two shades that she created, M145 and M146. My favorite out of the two is M146, and I love myself a good chameleon shade. I love a good amethyst shade. And for those of you who are not familiar with Shelby Wilson, she is the cream shadow queen here on YouTube, okay? That woman has tried more cream eyeshadow than probably any other YouTuber I've ever come across, okay? So she knows her stuff when it comes to this kind of formula. So I want to show you both shades. 145 is this beautiful champagne rose gold that's also very neutral, because as we all know, these kind of shades tend to go either super peachy or very orange. So I think she did a very good job at keeping this shade very neutral, and it can be worn like as a base or as a topper. It is buildable however you choose to use it. I think it's a very versatile shade and one that you would probably get a lot of use out of. The other shade is 146, and this one is that amethyst shade. And the reason it's she considers this a chameleon shade is because this is going to appear different on you depending on your skin tone. And so let me go ahead and swatch this one for you. I love me a good chameleon shade, and so for that reason, this is my favorite shade. It also appears very different depending on what kind of shadow you have underneath as well. And you can see that 146 has that kind of shade flip because, true to its name, you know, it's an amethyst shade, and that's what she was going for. Now, these are sold as single shadows on the Mob Beauty website, and it comes in this kind of biodegradable packaging. You can literally put it in the soil outside and it will disintegrate over time, which is perfect because you can either recycle these or you can toss these, and they're great for the environment. With that said, you can, back here, so let me show you. Back here, you can see the shade name, and you can actually push this and pop it out and use it that way. But although this is cardboard, it's pretty substantial, okay? Just so that you know. Now, what I wouldn't do is when you're grabbing it, try to like avoid this area, because as you can see by my top, I got some smudging there by accidentally popping that out while I was grabbing it, because this is my first Mob Beauty purchase, and so I wasn't very familiar with the packaging, but it's actually pretty cool. And Mob Beauty also has custom palettes. They are blank and you can actually pick and choose what you want, which is why you can pop these out and insert them into those personal pans. So let's talk about the formula as I apply it. So you can wear these alone. This is not advertised as a long-lasting eyeshadow. This is going to move. This is a clean beauty brand, for those of you who were wondering. This kind of formula is designed with that movable, flexible approach, that undone chicness that Shelby has. Again, this is her creation. That is her aesthetic. And I know that there's a lot of you out there who also have that same aesthetic. So she prefers this kind of like a movable, not so perfect kind of formula. So they are going to crease if you wear them on their own. Depending also on your skin type, that's gonna vary. If you have normal to dry skin, I feel like these are gonna hold up so much better. But for me, somebody who has combination to oily skin, I have to use a primer, which is fine. I use a primer with all of my eyeshadows, to be quite frank. So even with primer on my particular skin type, they did crease. What I found that these worked better with was if I layered them on top of one of my Merit shadows or powder shadow, and I'm gonna show you that in this video. So the first thing I want to do is I want to apply each of these onto the eyes because I want you to see what they look like. As you can consider this formula to be like the Westman Atelier iPods. That is a formula that moves around, and you guys know I'm a fan of those, and it doesn't bother me that they are not long lasting or more permanent like these solo shadows from Merit. So if you're going for that done undone look, this is something that you would really like. And I love that she did that because I feel like she stuck true to what she likes and what her daily makeup aesthetic is. Now, layering this on top of a powder or wearing it with like a primer or wearing it on top of like a powder shadow or one of these Merit single shadows will give you minimal creasing. This formula will give you at least a 4-hour wear before you start to see the creasing. If you just grab your finger and you tap it, it will just, because it stays emollient, it'll just coat your lid and you'll be fine. It's like if you just applied it. I'm okay with that. I love me a good done undone look, which is obviously why I like the Westman Atelier iPods. I'm gonna start off with 146 because it is my favorite. I prefer to apply these with my finger. I did prime my lids with my Urban Decay primer potion, and you can do a very light layer of this or you can build it up. I'm gonna go in with 145 on my other eye, and I use tapping motions to apply it. You can use a brush. The formula does work nicely with a brush, but I just find that applying it with my fingers is faster. So I find that both of these colors can be used as one and done colors. I'm gonna show you on the back of my hand these two colors layered with like the Merit shadows or like a powder shadow, so you can also see that as well. But applied onto the lid, just one layer, you can see that it's beautiful. Now I find that this does pack pigmentation, so as you build it up, it will become much sparklier, much more in your face. This does not have any kind of chunky glitters in it, so it is a very smooth application. And I find that 146, if you build this up, it becomes darker and darker, and you can actually use it as a subtle smoky situation. Now let me put on some mascara and I'll be right back. By the way, everything on my face will be in the description box below. So here it is applied with some mascara. It's stunning. It gives you that clean girl look that we all love. And I think that the two color choices she decided to create are very user-friendly, but I also feel like they're very unique in tone. Like finding a champagne shade like this in this neutral state is very difficult to find. And I think those of us who buy makeup a lot, we understand that this is like a diamond in the rough, okay? And this amethyst shade is, I feel like it's so versatile. You can do so much with it. You can use it as a liner, like you can use it to create like a subtle smoky eye. You can, because it has that flip, depending on how the light is hitting you, is just constantly changing. It looks different on everyone. Honestly, I think she really knocked it out of the park with her color choices. And I think it was a good start for this whole shimmer line for Mob Beauty. With that said, let me show you how I layer these. So the first color I use normally to layer 145 is Studio. And so let me just show you these because I want to show you the magic of these shadows. So here's Studio, which is a very neutral base shade, and I want to use 145 over it. Immediately it elevates that color. Look how beautiful. Now I want to try 145 over another color I really like to use, which is Social. Social, I feel like it's a beautiful matte mauve tone. So let's layer again 145 over that. Look at how beautiful that looks. I just find that these formulas play well with others. Now let's try those same two colors, but I want to show it to you with 146. All right, so here's the amethyst color, which is 146. We have a Studio here and Social here. Just look how beautiful. And as I continue to tap it out, it just continues to blend in because the formula doesn't set, it remains emollient. You can set these shadows, so you can put a little bit of either the Mob Beauty setting powder or pretty much any setting powder that you have. I personally don't like doing that because I feel like it takes away from its shimmeriness and it takes a little bit away from that pizzazz that it has when the light hits it. So here's 146 over the color Social from Merit. Like, how stunning is that? And then here are all of those variations. Another thing I wanted to mention is Oxygen. Like, the way that this packaging was designed, it like perfectly closes the box, so Oxygen is not getting into the eyeshadows. I know that's a big concern for a lot of you, and it was one of my concerns when I bought this. A lot of thought went into this packaging, and I can appreciate that because it keeps your eyeshadows feeling emollient and lasting longer. Now let's try these two colors over a powder shadow. So here I have my Bare Minerals The Hidden Treasure palette. For all my Bare Mineral fans out there, I still have this palette, and it's the one that I've been using, and I'm almost actually done using it. Like, look at this. I'm literally almost done with all these shades. I've got 6 shades left before I have officially completely panned this entire palette. But anyways, I took some of Payday and I swatched that on my hand here. So I'm going to put 145 over the top of that so you guys can see. Again, it plays so well with so many different types of shadows. I've even tried these with like the Bobbi Brown shadow sticks. It's a good formula. I think that a lot of thought went into creating it, and you know, Vic is a genius, okay? He used to work for MAC for a really long time. The man knows what he's doing. For all of you who knew MAC back in the day, like MAC Cosmetics, that's what I'm talking about. We all know Vic is a mad scientist. So this is 145 layered on top of that very simple matte gray shade. Now let's get that same shade and layer it with 146. So here we have Payday. You can see it's a very neutral gray color. I built it up just a little bit more because the camera doesn't seem to be picking it up that well. You know how it is when you're filming with cameras. Anything that's white or gray with like a white base, the camera has a hard time focusing in on it. Again, I just used a light tapping motion, but look how beautiful that looks. I love these shades. I love that Shelby stuck to her aesthetic. She got full control of making these shades her own, as if it was her own makeup brand. And I so appreciate that. And as a, you know, longtime subscriber of hers and fan of hers, I feel like I got her merch. You know, I wear these and it makes me think of her, and I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud that she was really able to do this without anybody telling her no, or it kind of doesn't match the aesthetic of the brand. You know, Ma Beauty really gave her the opportunity to create something that was Shelby, all Shelby. And I'm here for it because the way that they start to wear on the lid and they start to kind of emulsify as you are blinking, it gives that very beautiful, ethereal, done undone look. I just want to give you a close-up of both of these shadows now that I've been wearing it for some time while I've been filming. But you see, you got that minimal creasing there. You just tap it. Just tap it and boom, it's gone. It's gone without removing too much product, without leaving the product patchy. It's great. On this side, this 146 has not done any kind of creasing situation yet, but it eventually will. However, when I wear them over like a powder or one of these single shadows, I really don't see creasing until like the 3.5, 4 hour mark. So do keep that in mind. All right, you guys, if you have any questions, leave me a comment down below. I would love to answer them. And I hope this video helped you decide whether or not you wanted to pick these up. Thank you so much. As always, I appreciate your time, and see you next time, guys. Bye.